me, Theophilus Sampa. Good afternoon. Let's start off talking updates happenings on the local scene, and we start off going straight to the Garden City, Kumasi. Personnel of the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces has taken place in Kumasi have been equipped with technical skills and effective and successful fighting against illegal mining, otherwise known as galamsey. The soldiers, including other security agencies, are members of Operation Calm Life team tasked to stop the illegal mining, to protect water bodies and environment for posterity. The general officer commanding the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, Brigadier General Joseph Aduku Afo, advised the media to be circumspect in their reportage for the sustenance of the exercise. We go back and bring you our earlier story talking about issues making rounds, because it is recorded that abortion cases in the country has risen over the mark, and we have 2,666,000 abortions recorded in 4 years. The Gottman Institute, the World Health Organization, and the UN Human Reproduction Program released the first ever model of unintended pregnancies and abortion rates for 150 countries, including highlighting major disparities in access to sexual and reproductive health care. The study analyzes rates from 2015 to 2019 with the aim of providing deeper insight into access to sexual and in countries of all income levels across the globe. In Ghana, the unintended pregnancy rate declined 14% between 1990 to 1994 and 2015 to 2019. It said during the same period, the abortion rate increased 35%, with the share of unintended pregnancy ending in abortion rising from 23% to 36%, 1.33 million annually, with 741,000 being unintended and 266,000 ending in abortion, which is legal only to preserve the pregnant person's health. We turn attention to the Volta Regional Capital, who, at the end of the 12th Annual National Conference of the Association of Service Internal Auditors held in the Volta region, members were tasked to improve on their competencies to manage and account for public resources. The Deputy Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, Mr. Thomas Thompson Ejay, encouraged members to adopt an unbiased attitude and proactiveness in the discharge of their duties.
The National Conference with the theme Improving Ghana Education Service Management Efficiency in COVID-19 Era, the role of the internal auditor was an opportunity for members to sharpen their skills and knowledge on various topics and update themselves on current internal audit trends and practices. The conference also enabled members of the Association of Ghana Education Service Internal Auditors to interact and share ideas on ethical and professional standards. From all 16 regions across the country, the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Achimota School, employed the members of the association to be professional in the execution of their works. He urged the management of the education service to support and cooperate with internal auditors without unnecessary interference.
As I entreat the internal auditors to do their work without fear or favor, I wish to also entreat the management of the Ghana Education Service to support and cooperate with the internal auditors.
The Chief Internal Auditor, Reverend Bismarck Akandi, appealed to the Director General of GES and other stakeholders to provide them with relevant equipment to enhance their performance. The Deputy Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, Mr. Thomas Thompson Ejay, said a proposal has been submitted to the government to consider consolidating public internal audit resources under the agency. When this is considered and the Internal Audit Service Act is passed, all public sector internal auditors will be brought under the control of the Internal Audit Agency to improve their operations while ensuring the independence of internal auditors in the discharge of their functions.
In order to ensure the independence of the internal audit units, the Internal Audit Agency has submitted a proposal to government to consolidate public internal audit resources under the agency. When the proposal is accepted by government and the subsequent passage of the Internal Audit Service Act, all public sector internal auditors will be under the control and direction of the Internal Audit Agency.
Let's turn attention to the Garden City. Again, personnel of the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces have been equipped with technical skills in effective and successful fight against illegal mining, otherwise known as galamsey. The soldiers, including other security agencies, are members of the Operation Calm Life team tasked to stop illegal mining, to protect water bodies and the environment for posterity. The General Officer Commandant, the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, Brigadier General Joseph Aduku Afo, advised the media to be circumspect in their reportage for the sustenance of the exercise. We'll bring you that story later. We come back to the capital, Accra. At Edeba to wrap up activities marking the 95th anniversary of the Achimota School on Saturday in Accra, a former Deputy Finance Minister under the Kufuor administration and old student, Mr. Dr. Samuel Noy Ashong, said there is the need for a new curricula for secondary education to meet current demands.
The vision of Sir Frederick Gordon Gudgesberg to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor with a touch of the British standard curricula established the Achimota School together with Dr. James Kwegui Agri and Reverend Alexander Garden Fraser in 1927. The school has since produced great leaders. Minister under Kufuor's administration and old student Dr. Samuel Noy Ashong said there is an urgent need to restructure Ghana's secondary school curricula.
To develop skills such as active learning, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, quality control, and service orientation to prepare our students for this new revolution that is happening in real time before our very own eyes. This we must necessarily do even as we deepen the emphasis on STEM education.
The headmistress of the school, Mrs. Marjorie Afenyi, said the school does not only focus on academics but works to instill a sense of the Ghanaian culture in its students.
It is a must every student who passes through Achimota should go through this, both the academics and the tradition. Achimota stands for.
The 1997 year group have engaged Google Ghana to provide the school with a specific classroom space for virtual teaching and learning after networking the whole school with fiber optic cables for faster internet connectivity. The theme for the anniversary is sustaining the new phase of education through digitalization.
More than 60 young African entrepreneurs have been recognized under the Under 40 Awards for their contributions towards the continent's growth.
The nominees were drawn from 15 countries across the continent. They received awards under the categories of education, media, sales and marketing, theatre and arts, energy, women empowerment, among others. The chief executive of Exodus Communications, Mr. Richard Abbey Jr., encouraged the nominees to see themselves as winners in their fields.
If you don't take a trophy, please, do not give up. There's still 40 and 40. In Ghana, somebody had come 5 times. He has still not won. Somebody came 3 times. On the 4th time, he won. But I believe we are all winners, even though we are competitors.
The deputy head of mission in Ghana, Kingdom of Morocco, Mr. Abdirahim Cherub, urged the award winners and other young African entrepreneurs to raise standards of their businesses to be able to compete on the world platform. The Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Mr. Marco Krekomante, encouraged the youth, especially Ghanaians, to take advantage of opportunities the tourism industry provides. Bernard Kofi Bonaparte, a Ghanaian, picked an award for the social enterprise category. He advised his colleagues to strive for more successes. Mrs. Janet Tayo Faremi of Nigeria, who won the sales and marketing category, hoped Africa will have better leaders who will create opportunities for the youth. For Mary Ben Omolo of Kenya, who picked for women empowerment, her next project is to network and empower young single mothers in a can-do spirit across Africa. The overall winner from Zimbabwe, Mr. Shakespeare Timbura, expressed gratitude to the organizers and called on African leaders to prioritize the future of the youth in their deliberations.
It was common in the days of old for baking and preservation. It has been a lifesaver for many bakeries in Ghana, but modernization has relegated it to the background due to the introduction of modern machinery. Our reporter, Beatrice Naji, was with a reminder of the relevance of kilns in modern times.
A kiln, popularly referred to in Akan as fono, has been used for many years to turn clay objects into pottery, tiles and bricks. It has also been the baker's choice for decades in Ghana. Carved with red clay soil and water, bread and other pastries come out of this oven, perfect and delicious. But in recent times, the introduction of modern machinery is gradually taking away this way of life in many parts of the country. So, I sought to find out its relevance, and it turns out only a few bakeries still use kilns. This is Auntie Nancy's Bakery in Accra. Nancy's Bakery started operating in 1972 and is still using a kiln to bake. Its owner, Madame May, says she got into the baking business from her childhood. She inherited the business from her mother. She enjoys using the kiln to bake despite the fact that modern methods and ovens exist.
We have
been using kilns for decades. We used gas ovens for some time, but we experienced a gas disaster in which I lost 2 brothers. Since then, I have relied on the use of kiln. Her day at the bakery begins at 3 a.m. She first has to heat the kiln for about 15 to 20 minutes. Firewood, kerosene and matches are the materials needed to get the fire started in the kiln. She says there is a noticeable difference between bread baked in a kiln and bread from an electric or gas oven. The kiln drains the water in the bread and gives it a nice shape, but with a gas or electric oven, you need to open it frequently. This leads to the bread loosen its shape and taste. Grace Baffo also bakes bread. It's been a 50-year business venture for her. For Grace, she has no plan to switch to the use of a gas oven. She explained that the locally made oven is good and economical.
This once and for all. So the oven one is very economical.
People believe using kilns to bake is healthier, economical, and lasts longer than the gas oven. And they also say our heritage must be preserved since it tells who we are. The bakers say though modernity makes life easier, they proudly cherish and hold on to our customs and traditions, which is unique to us, and will teach it to the next generation.
Personnel of the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces have been equipped with technical skills in the effective and successful fight against illegal mining, otherwise known as galamsey. Soldiers, including other security agencies, are members of the Operation Calm Life task team, tasked to really stop the illegal mining and protect our water bodies and the environment for posterity. The General Officer commanding the Central Command of the Brigadier General Joseph Aduko Afo advised the media to be circumspect in their reportage for the sustenance of the exercise.
The training program highlighted the side effect of illegal mining on the environment and its impact on the socio-economic development of society. A research by CSIR has shown that the country will face serious water challenges by 2030 if the current damage to the water bodies by illegal mining is not checked. A research scientist at the Ghana Armed Forces, Lieutenant Colonel Nyamado, said it will cost the government more than $400 million to treat water contaminated with heavy metal before consumption.
Currently, we have about 33% of our communities relying on groundwater, per the recent survey done in Accra. 33%. So that, imagine, our population is 30%. Then we are saying that all things, we are looking at 10 million people coming into contact with this heavy metal.
The General Officer commanding the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, Brigadier General Joseph Aduko Apo, appealed to the media to continue to assist the security in the fight against galamsey.
To our media partners, I wish to acknowledge your continuous support for this just cause by being with us today as well. The whole nation acknowledges the important role you have played since the inception of this fight when the media coalition against galamsey was formed. I must add that this program is very important as far as the fight against illegal mining is concerned. Soldiers and make important contributions through the sharing of experiences.
An army officer, Colonel Ejejebi, urged the soldiers to always lead by example, adding that the success of any exercise largely depends on effective and well-motivated leadership.
The Ghana Evangelical Society is calling on religious bodies to focus more attention on message of righteousness to win more souls for Christ. The society has observed that the church today has neglected the word and is rather focusing on materialism. Speaking at a news conference in Accra, the General Secretary of the Ghana Evangelical Society, Madam Janet Amegashichi, appealed to all churches to speak with one voice and not deviate from the truth.
Instead of the church preaching the message of the cross, of the suffering and pain of Jesus Christ to redeem us from sin, we are rather talking about gain and materialism in the world. And because God loves the church and doesn't want the church to continue in this way of sin, He's drawing the church attention, calling on the church to come back to Him, God. And He says that Christ is the foundation of the church. And the message of the cross is the way of God. And so Jesus Christ didn't come to give us full shelter and clothing. He came to redeem us from sin and grave and death and reconcile us, that man will have hope in God.
Reports indicate that 1 out of every 3 preterm babies sent to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital as a referral from other hospitals die. This is because the hospital has been operating without a standard neonatal intensive care unit known as NICU, whilst receiving 2 infant incubators from the Kukuruku Charities and its partners, KGL. The CEO of the hospital, Dr. Eric Kofi Nyadu, sent an SOS to organizations and philanthropists to come to their aid with such facility to save the dying children.
Neonatal Intensive Care Unit is a special unit in a hospital to manage babies born with special needs or pretermed babies. Unfortunately, the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, which is a referral hospital in charge of Central, Western and Western North and parts of Eastern regions, does not have the full complement of what makes a NICU. A major challenge especially has been the lack of space to accommodate these children. The facility is making do with what they have created, a special care baby unit, in the face of the challenges. Out of the 903 babies with special needs admitted at the facility, last year 396, which is about 40%, were pretermed babies. Currently, there are 21 children on admission and 12 out of it are pretermed babies, being managed with only 5 incubators. Interestingly, a baby is on admission from Ivory Coast. As a relief, the Cocoa Charities, in partnership with KGL Foundation, has presented 2 baby incubators, each costing $10,000 to the facility. This adds to 3 the number of incubators Cocoa Charities has donated to the facility to help save the dying children. The chief executive of the Cocoa Charities, Kwame Sifakai, indicated his commitment to support in establishing a standard NICU for the CEO of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Dr. Eric Kofi Nyadu, was grateful to Cocoa Charities and their partners for being a friend to the hospital. He, however, sent an SOS to other organizations and philanthropists to support the hospital in building a standard neonatal intensive care unit with all needed equipment to save the children.
Nectar Foundation, an orphanage home near Krobodumase in the Manya Krobo municipality of the Eastern region, is appealing to benevolent organizations, philanthropists, NGOs and individuals to come to their aid. The caretaker of the foundation, Madam Angela Kufu, says the foundation depends solely on donations to help pay for their rented apartment, the upkeep of inmates, among others. She made the appeal when the Krobo Girls Senior High School presented assorted items and an amount of CDs to the foundation in the Manya Krobo municipality of the Eastern region.
Nectar Foundation, Madam Angela Kofu, said the foundation has been in existence for 20 years, yet it is still housed in a rented apartment. She said payment of rent is taking a heavy toll on the foundation's finances and it will appreciate any support in that regard. Madam Angela Kofu said the kind gesture of the Kobo Girls Senior High School is much appreciated and pleaded with others to come to their aid. The donation made by the Kobo Girls Old Students Association, KOGA, is part of activities marking the 95th anniversary celebrations of the Kobo Girls Senior High School. The headmistress of the Kobo Girls Senior High School, Madam Petty Uduhini Chimboa, thanked individuals and churches who supported Kobo Girls with a donation to mark the 95th anniversary of the school. The president of the Old Students Association, Madam Catherine Tego, said the money presented to them will help the home to pay for their rent, among others. The school also donated some items to the Millennium Presbyterian Basic School at Kojunya, also in the Yellow Krobo municipality. As part of the activities to mark the anniversary, the students and the old girls embarked on a cleanup exercise at the Atua Government Hospital and the St. Martin's Private Hospital.
If you missed some of the past week's major stories, here is an opportunity to catch up with them in pictures. After this break, please stay.
There are strong women whose stories teach us perseverance, logic, decisiveness, and self-confidence. Being strong is not just about physical abilities, but also emotional, intellectual, and mental strength.